Nope. All right. Hey, welcome everybody to Racetalk Live. I'm going to introduce our guests right away, and then we'll get to some other stuff. But first of all, we're joined with Jeremy Petty over here on the far right, and a legend from NASCAR.
Not quite.
Yeah. We can't call you a legend yet.
No, not a legend yet. Yeah.
But Mr. Todd Parrott is joining us tonight, which is very, very cool. First of all, we're glad to have you guys. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you. Glad to be here.
Of course, let's run over some. We're missing Bill. Bill is en route from Missouri. He just passed through Manhattan, he said, so he'll be here. But we're going to make this. We're going to draw this out a little bit, so he'll get to join in here in a little bit. But first of all, big thanks to District Eat and Play right here. They didn't know about this show until this afternoon when I called them. Of course, you know, you made your trip to Salina and showed up, and so this was kind of a throw together deal. But big thanks to them for getting us in here, you know, on such short notice. And also Salina Speedway. We got races there every Saturday night coming up, starting the end of April. We're going to have a 2-day late model show along with some sprint cars. So Chuck's got a pretty cool schedule set up for that. Concordia Raceway, they're going on Sundays again, every other Sunday. So be sure to take in some races at Concordia. The Belleville the Midget Auto Museum is located there in Belleville. I'm doing all this from trying to memory because Bill's got all my cheat sheets. So
you're doing great. Just keep up the good work.
So, great place to go visit. They got a lot of cool midget stuff from, you know, history of Belleville has been there a long time, and a lot of cool stuff in that museum. Of course, we also got Kansas Auto Racing Museum located in Chapman. Another cool place to visit. I know Jeremy's been in there quite a bit. You guys have done shows from there, you and Doug?
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff with Doug.
Yep.
My grandpa's sprint car's in there.
Yep.
A lot of his stuff from the fire is in there.
Yep, so need to go check that place out. Sorry I don't have any phone numbers, but you know, as far as that goes, located in Chapman. Kimball Midwest. Bill is your dealer for Kimball Midwest. You need anything, nuts, bolts, any electrical, fasteners, any kinds of stuff, Bill can get you fixed up. And we got Hill Job Graphics. Of course, they did a great job on our shirts. They wrapped Dean's trailer for him, so Mike does a great job. Mean Dean Productions. Mean Dean does a great job with all this electrical stuff. I have no idea.
He's your IT tech.
He knows all about all that stuff, and so I just sit here and talk, I guess. But he does a great job. I know weddings are his favorite, so hit him up for a wedding.
I'll
and
pass.
Of course, BSB Manufacturing. Jay does a great job with all your suspension stuff, shocks. He can help you out. So give Jay a call. They're located there in Wellington, Kansas. And before we get to going, you always hate to do this part of it, but the sad part of the show, we had some deaths in the racing world. Of course, Brian Nail, kid I helped race for years and years, his dad passed away just recently, and Bill Clanton, which was from here in town, was involved with racing, raced himself for years and years. He passed away. Kathleen Damon, the Damon family was a big involvement in racing as far as sponsoring cars, building cars. They owned first-class chassis there for a while. So they did, you know, they'll be well missed. So sorry for there. And then Chad Berger was, I don't know very many people that didn't know Chad. He would help out anybody that would come along with racing. You know, he helped a lot of people. Owned a few cars and had some drivers drive for him. But Chad was a great guy. He lost his life in an auto accident a couple weekends ago, so bad deal. But anyway, our thoughts and prayers are out to all those families.
Yeah.
And always hate to do that part, but
Yeah, you have to give your condolences and stuff.
yep.
I've got one too. I mean, I don't know if there's any people back in North Carolina watching, but a really good friend of ours in the racing community back in the day when I was working with Rusty Wallace at the Blue Max team and Kodiak in the 27 car, but we were big fans of the Ace and TJ show in Charlotte, 99.7, the Fox, and we had the Fox decal on the hood of the car, and kind of like when Alan Kowicki had Mighty Mouse, we had the Fox on the front of it. Well, Ace passed away here the last couple of days, and suddenly, I believe, like I said, I don't know what happened. I've been reading through Instagram messages and stuff like that, but him and TJ were like the biggest talk show, biggest radio show in Charlotte for many years, and like I said, my condolences. Anybody watching, out to Ace and his family. I know he had 3 kids, and he'll be missed by a lot of people. But thank you for letting me say that.
You betcha, no problem. So, Jeremy, you got some stuff in the works as far as working on your ARCA cars, and along came Todd. How did all this come about?
Well, last year I crew chief Ryan Roulette for 10 races, and Todd at Fast Tracks with Andy Hillenberg. Todd was crew chief, and Zachary Tinkle, and did you do anybody else?
Yeah, I did a couple other drivers, Ed Pompa, Talladega, different places, but the main goal was Zachary Tinkle on the ARCA East series. Yeah,
so we just got to know each other and got to talking in the hauler, and then Michael Maples Motorsports, that is going to run out of my shop this year. So we got 2 cars, Michael will be in the 99 and Ryan's going to be in the 67. So I switched from Ryan over to take care of Michael, and Todd's going to do all of Ryan's races.
Ryan stuff, okay.
So, and we leave, hopefully Monday, we leave to go to Daytona, and so he came out to check over and make sure I know what I'm doing and learn everything I can from him.
Yeah, I just came to get my hands on the race car, just to know what I'm working on when we get down there on next Thursday.
Sure.
So it's my shop looks a lot different than it usually did. You've been out there a couple times.
I was out there.
There's a lot of stuff in there right now, and it's a little unorganized. The late models kind of shoved back in the other shop, but got a lot going on. I think it's gonna be a good year, and it's gonna be a fun year, and get to work with a lot of really good guys, and so I think it'll be all right.
Good. So take us through what's going to be the process as far as getting there. Of course, you guys have to get all checked in. You got to park your haulers.
Yeah, we
Cars
park
go
on.
through tech and,
I think we
what all
park haulers Wednesday evening. Thursday is all day tech until around like 4 or 5. I think we have a 45-minute practice. If we come back Friday and we got to go through qualifying tech, and then the only time we're on the track Friday is qualifying, and it's group qualifying, so that can be kind of
a group deal. Okay.
That can be kind of a cluster.
Okay.
And then hopefully both cars are in, and we'll come back Saturday at noon, Florida Daytona time, 11 o'clock here. We race on Fox. I think I saw one of the Ryan sent me a deal when I was at baseball practice. There's 47 cars registered, and they're going to start at 40. So we got to figure out how to outrun seven cars.
So there's going to be some going home.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
There's been some going home from Daytona the last 2 or 3 years. So
yeah. The car count's it's in the last couple of years it's jumped sky high. I mean, I think like at the Daytona test back in January 9th, 10th, I believe there was like 52 cars down there.
Really?
Testing, yeah.
Yeah, like 70 drivers or something like that.
What brought on more cars, you think? I mean, more teams?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think it's more drivers, younger drivers, from the late model stock or late model series, and places running it out west. We got Takuma Koga from Japan. You had a bunch of new young drivers. I actually was down there working for Willie Mullins Racing, and Willie sat on the pole last year for the ARCA race in his Ford Mustang. But I was down there with working on his Chevrolet that he had, and I was working with a girl from Mexico named Regina Servant. And so basically the goal was for the Daytona ARCA test is she had to get laps on a NASCAR track to get certified to run the Xfinity race in Mexico City in May.
Okay.
So, she was down there, and I got to work with her, and did an amazing job. I mean, super talented race car driver. I mean, she picked up on speedway racing. I was like, as long as I've been doing this, I was literally blown away.
She picked it up quick.
Oh, yeah, how quick, and she got the draft. So it was a lot of fun. So, yeah, so
it's a lot of factors.
There's just a lot of.
There's always people that have to run the ARCA race to get approved to run a truck race or an Xfinity race or something. So
yeah,
and it's Daytona.
Yeah.
It's a special place. Everybody wants to run there.
The ARCA series is a training ground for, you come out of Cars Tour, you go, some guys go out of Cars Tour, go to trucks and girls, but the ARCA series is a very, very good series. It's a strong series with a lot of good people leading the program that can teach young drivers, and get races under their belt and a lot of experience. And people like David Gilliland, Tricon Garage, Gibbs, people like that. I mean, a lot of eyes are watching the ARCA races on Saturdays, to see where that talent is. I mean, Jesse Love Jr. won the championship, went to RCR. I mean, William Sawalich, now this year he's at Gibbs and, going to run for Tricon. So a lot of amazing talent comes out of ARCA and then moves on up through the rest of the National Series.
So now that they've changed the Cup cars so much, it used to be to where the Cup cars were a lot like the ARCA cars. Since they've changed the cars so much, are the teams using that as much as a test session now than what they were? I mean,
the Cup teams? Yeah, not the Cup teams. The equipment is just so different now.
Yeah.
But
Xfinity, the Xfinity chassis is the same as what our car is.
Okay.
But there's a lot of because Cup is different, the trickle down is not there. So there's like brand new purpose built ARCA cars showing up where 7, 8, 9 years ago that was not a thing. It was all old Cup cars, and now it's the quality of equipment in the ARCA garage is better than it has ever been.
You and I were talking out at the shop the other day how that all changed as far as the gears in the rear end, which they don't use anymore. The cars themselves, which Cup guys don't use anymore. It kind of ran out of places to go with them things. But
it's made ARCA more expensive.
Yep.
But it has also really narrowed the gap. It used to be we go to Daytona and there'd be like 10 cars in the lead draft, and then there'd be a bunch of stuff strung out, and now it's basically one giant pack with a few stragglers. It's tough. It's a tough series.
How many races are on the series this year?
20. On the ARCA Menards series, the National Series, there's 20 races, and then
20 races.
They have ARCA East and ARCA West.
The ARCA East series this year has got, I believe it's 8 or 9 races that they run.
Okay. You guys plan on hitting all those? Or?
I think Todd's going to crew chief some people on the East, but as of right now, we are not planning on running East races, but that could change for sure. Because I know
Depends
Ryan
on Daytona.
and Ryan's running some truck races too, and so if things go well, I wouldn't be surprised if Michael decides, hey, let's go run Rockingham the East Series is running Rockingham, and the trucks are there at the same time. So we could pick up some East races, but it's not scheduled right now. For
As
us.
long as it would make the most sense when there's a truck race and it's a companion race and ARCA runs like Dover. When we run the ARCA series, the trucks are there. Xfinity Cup, it's just one big weekend. So a lot of places it's that way.
Okay.
That's how it is at Daytona. So the trucks run Friday night. We run Saturday at noon. I think the Xfinity race is like 5 on Saturday, and then the Cup race is Sunday.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of eyeballs. We're on Fox this year.
Live national television.
Yep. I imagine I'll be watching.
So hopefully we're both watching with
I
you.
wish I was there. Yep. So Todd, let's kind of go back in time a little bit. Back in your heyday, of course, with Dale Jarrett, and doing all that. Got any cool stories?
I've got time. I don't think his reel on his his tape recorder, it would last long enough for all that. But I grew up in the sport, and I told you were at the shop yesterday. I have a picture of me, 6 years old, in Victory Lane at Daytona Beach, 4th of July. Bobby Isaac won the race in the K&K Dodge. Harry Hyde was the crew chief. My dad was a mechanic. And Bobby's sitting on the hood of the car holding the trophy like this. And right behind the trophy is me, 6 years old, drinking a Pepsi. And my brother Brad is to the right, and my mom is right beside him.
So, 6 years old.
So I've been in racing my whole life. My father, he was in racing and crew chiefed a lot of amazing, race car drivers. And that, me growing up, I graduated high school. I worked for Richard Petty in 1984. And then Tim Richmond in 85, Rusty Wallace from 86 to basically 1995, and then, being in the garage with Rusty, it was always the 28 and the 2 car in the garage, which was Davey Allison, Robert Yates, Dale Jarrett, in 95. And they noticed, Robert and Larry noticed the job I was doing and what I was doing. And invited me up to Larry, and everybody laughed. His lake house was on Lake Norman. It looked like the Hampton Inn. And it was a big white house, and they invited me up one night to the Hampton Inn, and we sat and talked, and they had a plan and a vision. Ford Motor Company was going to come on and sponsor Robert for, with 2 cars, the 88 and the 28 in 96, and they wanted me to crew chief for Dale, and
how long did you have to think about that? Did you say yes right away?
Till we got, I heard everything. You have to realize I'd never been in that position.
Okay.
So basically I was a chassis specialist. I was the guy, I was car chief. What a car chief is today, it wasn't that title back then, but that's what I was. I did all the setup on every race car, from the time it left the shop to the time it got to the racetrack, all through practice, all that stuff. And, so I had a vast knowledge. Working with Rusty Wallace was probably that taught me more about how to make a race car handle, because he's hands-on. And me and him were like this.
So did you just kind of learn by hands-on deal? Or
I started out, I told you yesterday, I started out helping my dad at the race shops when I was a kid, cleaning bathrooms, mopping floors, sweeping up, and just picking up emptying trash. And I was, like I said, just kept my head down and, really interested in it. I played golf in high school, turned down 3 partial golf scholarships when I graduated to go to some pretty nice colleges. But I knew if I went to college that I'd have to open up a book, and I I didn't like that part. I loved going to play golf in the afternoons. That was a lot of fun. And I mean, when I graduated, I was the #1 player in the Southern Piedmont Conference. So
Really?
I graduated the best player.
I hear Dale's a pretty good golfer too. Yeah.
Great golfer. I'm gonna tell you a story. Talk about stories.
Okay.
So, me and Dale Garrett, I played golf in high school. He played golf. Very good golfer. Till this day, on February 5th, 2025, our whole career, I have never been on the golf course and played golf with Dale Jarrett.
Really?
Blows my mind.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what we did, but we never played golf together. I mean, I was always working, working on race cars, trying to win races and make things go fast. So, so in '96, went over there, and actually my first crew chief job was at Rockingham. Was it Rockingham? Yeah, Rockingham. A crew chief for Ernie Irvin. When Ernie came back after his accident and we had the patch on the eye.
Oh yeah.
He was driving the '88 Haviland car, and I crew chief for Ernie at Rockingham, Phoenix, and Atlanta. Well, Rockingham, he was in practice. The way the sun comes over the grandstands, there in I think it was going in turn 3. The sun was coming up early morning practice. He went in turn 3 and just misjudged the car in front of him, and ran up underneath the bumper, tore the nose off. We tried to fix it, didn't make the race, but we went to Phoenix and we were fast. Qualified, I think, like 5th or 6th, and had a caution with like lap 60, and I knew 2 tires were going to be good there because that's just, we're working with Rusty and all that. So at lap 60, I put 2 tires on Ernie, and Earnhardt was leading the race, and we come out in front of him, obviously leading the race. Well, he drove off from Earnhardt, 2 tires, and had about a whole corner lead on him, and the engine blew up.
How in the hell do you remember all this stuff?
Don't ask me. But
you put 2 tires on. You remember that?
Yeah, it's just things, man. When
oh my God.
Jeremy, I tell you, when you're a racer, you're a racer. I mean, from top to bottom, from the time you roll out of bed in the morning to the time you try to close your eyes at night and stop thinking about it, because your mind's always thinking about it.
Trying to get faster.
But then we went to Atlanta, the final race of the year. We finished 3rd, with Ernie in '88. So, and then '96 was a storybook year. I mean, we went to Daytona in '96. First time as a crew chief on the Ford Quality Care car, we won. Back then, you went to Daytona like a week and a half, so we went down on like Thursday before the 500 was like 2 Sundays from then. So we won the Busch Clash on Saturday night, or it was Saturday. We qualified 3rd for the Daytona 500. I think we finished 2nd in the duel on Thursday, and then we won the Daytona 500 on Sunday. So the two biggest races at Daytona Speed Weeks.
How cool!
Yeah.
How cool was that to get to stand up on the stage? And
it was unbelievable. I'll never forget it as long as I live.
I'll bet.
Winston Kelly was, like, when we won the race, because I'd known Winston growing up, I mean, he was always a reporter and doing pit road stuff and things like that. We won all the races with Rusty and all that stuff, and he, when we won the race, he was the first one to me, because I went running out on pit road and I was crying, I was bawling. I couldn't believe it happened, and me and him, he interviewed me, and it was from that point on, our relationship was magic. I mean, it really was.
So out of all the guys that you've worked for, who's the toughest? Who is the most demanding? I mean,
Who?
Yeah,
Matt Kinsey.
Matt Kinsey.
Yes,
Really?
without a doubt.
Really?
Yes, Matt. He is he is one of the most talented race car drivers in NASCAR history. I mean, he's quiet, but he is very, very, very demanding on what he wants. He's not mean,
No,
but he knows what he wants,
Right.
and if you don't give it to him,
He'll let you know.
he'll let you know. I mean, so I would say him, the toughest guy. Just grit, just a bona fide wheel man. I got the crew chief of Ryan Newman in 2015
Wow.
when I was at RCR when Luke Lambert got suspended for some kind of tire infraction or something that happened. But I was working there as the competition director for the Xfinity teams in 2015, and when that happened, I was a crew chief, so Richard and Mike Dillon and Eric Warren asked me to come over and crew chief what car was it? I can't remember what number it was. 39? It was 39? It wasn't 39. That was Stuart Haas. Whatever number it was. 31 car. For the 6 races that Luke was suspended. All the years racing, I'll never forget the races at Dover, Delaware, with Rusty, even Dale. On the inside, had the fastest car, just peel around the bottom of the racetrack and get to the inside of Newman, and he would just drive us, pinch us down off the corner and stay beside of you and just race you so hard. I hated him back then. Absolutely hated him. Until I got to actually be his crew chief, and I'm like, yeah, baby.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so
Cool.
like I said, I've been very fortunate. I've had an amazing career, and I'm very, very blessed. And like I said, worked with the likes of Bobby Labonte, Elliott Sadler, so many.
Do you stay in touch with a lot of these guys?
Oh, yeah.
Do you still see them and talk?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Newman, I see him all the time. Not all the time, but I see him.
See him a lot.
And when I see him, they always speak and we talk, and so it's got a lot of respect for them, but I believe in the end they got a lot of respect for me, and what I do.
Yep.
So I've been, like I said, I'm blessed. I'm not gonna lie.
Real quick, I got to go through got quite a few people on here. Kurt Calavoda, Mike Pfeiffer, Jess Montgomery, Melanie Griffith, which is my daughter. Hi, Mel. Phil Nightingale's watching. Julie Petty, Jerry Phillips, Jim Petty, Brenda Watts, Martin Amandon, John Brady, Ashley Schneewise,
racing stuff, but I had to settle on
Bill Petty,
so I didn't forget to go get my kids from
Jay
school.
Petty,
That I forget.
Colgan, Bobby Eubanks. So
He just gets so caught up.
thanks for thanks for watching, everybody. So, Phew, I was on something else. The phones don't get along very well. So you guys been working back at the shop, getting the cars ready. I know I was out there yesterday, and the guys were putting a wrap on the one car, and Todd said he was going to give it a good going over after he got all done. Did you get that done yet?
Still, we'll have by lunchtime tomorrow. Yeah, the guys, Kyle, Wyatt. The kids, Jeremy's got working there. Doing a great job. And like I said, I'm such, I don't want to say OCD, but my whole career in racing has been about everything. I play golf. Everything is about details. And if it's not perfect, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
You know, until you feel like that, you know, you've given it everything you have and done everything you can within the rules, sometimes outside the rules, but you're not cheating until you get caught.
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, the guys are doing a great job and feel really confident about the car, what Jeremy's done. Got a new engine going back to Daytona in Ryan's car, and you know, a few other little new things. But you know, just being at the shop, being able to touch it, knowing my history on speedways and the attention to detail and what makes a race car go fast. I mean, I'm doing everything I can, you know, with a car that's already built and put together to try to make it better. And even with Michael's car, you know, looking at things on it. But he's done an amazing job. I mean, in such a short time.
Been a lot of work.
And that's
been in the shop a lot.
I know you.
A lot.
Yeah, we were talking how you're ready to get Daytona done with, so you can have just a little bit of a break before you have to go again. So
Phoenix
yeah.
We get like 4 weeks, and I think we go to Phoenix. And
Yeah.
So I'm still going to be busy, but not like I've been.
As busy, yeah.
So it's been, but if you're going to do good at Daytona and Talladega, you have to pay attention to the details and the small stuff, because you only have so much horsepower down there. So you have to pay attention to the body and the underneath. That stuff is very important down there. And when you got to out-qualify cars, you know, Ryan doesn't have any points. So he's got points if it rains.
Oh, I see.
But other than that, we got to get in the show. So we got to make sure that we're doing things correct.
Yeah. You know, going back to the body and the teching and stuff, you and I were talking. Can you tell that little story about running Dale's car through the wind tunnel and finding the the foam underneath?
So in 1999, or during the winter of '99, after we won the championship, so it's always been whoever wins the championship in the year before the next 500, like Ray Everham, Jeff Gordon, they did it. I can't remember who else, but Ray was the 24 car was always beside our car in the garage, and me and him, I would look at his car, and he would send guys to stand in front of it so I couldn't see it, and I just moved to the side and look. But you know, it was always the thing that if you win the championship, if you come out of the box in February and win the Daytona 500, then that means that you're still beating on that same drum, and you know, still got your big momentum going.
Yep.
So, you know, during the winter of '99, we built the car and, you know, did a lot of things. NASCAR came out with some new rules, some new templates around the nose of the Fords and stuff like that. And, you know, we did a lot of. We tested Daytona with the car one way, and then came home from the test, and they made a new V template that wrapped around the nose, and we had to fix that. But in the story you're talking about, that we talked about, that car went to Lockheed Martin in Marietta, Georgia, where they do all the stuff for the
wind tunnel.
Wind tunnel for the airplanes and stuff like that at Lockheed. It blows 200 miles an hour, so you're like at a speedway. So you see what every body panel, what moves, what shapes, and where you need to go, make it stiffer, just to make it where it's less drag and try to achieve the same downforce. We went 6 times, and then so we had to leave to go to Daytona. That was still the deal where we ran the Clash and then had qualifying on Sunday. We had to leave for Daytona on Thursday. We went to the wind tunnel with our Daytona car. I can't remember if it was painted or it was primed, but we went Monday of the week we were supposed to leave and went down there and took a whole. Back then we had a King Air. Robert had a King Air, and I had 5 fabricators that went down there with us, and we put the car in the tunnel, blew it. And, we took everything from each test that we did, put it in the car, and I said, we're going to go blow it one more time to make sure everything we did is perfect. And it was the best it had been. And I don't know, I had a brain fart, and we went and made some foam board and went over in the fab shop on the other side of the tunnel, and we cut out some 3/4 inch foam board, brought it in the tunnel, and we put it up underneath the rockers, and we made a Sharpie and cut it like the white foam board like it was our rocker panel, and put it on the car, and it picked up like 3 horsepower drag and like 30 pounds of downforce. And
just a piece of foam.
Just a piece of foam, but we could when we got back to the shop, we could make it out of metal.
Sure.
And the guys, the fabricator, they're looking, and we're all standing by it's funny, in the control room, you got this big monitor, and, it spits out all the numbers and all that. It started spitting these numbers out, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, and them guys are sitting behind me over my shoulder. When we got done blowing, I turned around and looked at them, and they looked at me, because we got to leave, we got to load up Wednesday, what are you going to do? I said, we're going to make it right.
We're going to build something.
We're going to fix it. So we took the thing home, got home, whatever truck got home Monday night. We got there around 5 o'clock Tuesday morning, unloaded, and took it in the fab shop. I had the most amazing fabricators I showed you pictures of a car that Ronnie Hoover did.
Yeah, I seen. Yeah.
Out of metal.
Yep.
Well, those were the guys I had.
Yeah, he did an awesome
like
job.
I mean, we talked about what the plan was going to be on the airplane on the way back to Concord, and we went in there, and the guys had the car done by, I want to say by 4 o'clock Tuesday afternoon.
Nice.
New rocker panels. I mean, everything was perfect. And we unloaded at Daytona for practice, and I had a mark. I was standing in the garage on top of the truck, so I always, going into turn 3, there was a Unical 76 ball that the MRN guys, Moody and all them, stand out.
Yeah.
So I used that as my start-finish line all the time. So we'd leave pit road, and I would actually time him there. And when he left there, come around, he took the green flag. The next lap, he would get the white flag, and that was my white flag down back there. And then it'd come around for the checker, and he hit that corner, and hey, this is back in the day, okay?
Did you get a big smile on your face?
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell the truth. Me and Dale Jarrett, we had a plan when we went to Daytona and Talladega. We had code, because we knew if we were fast, we didn't want to show it.
Yep.
So when he got to the ball in turn 3, coming to the checkered flag at the start-finish line, I looked at my stopwatch and went. All I did was hit my radio button where I normally talk to him, and it was a dead key. And he knew if he heard a dead key to drag the brake or let off a little bit.
Oh, good deal. That's pretty awesome.
So I think we were like 4th or 5th in practice, and we got to pit road for qualifying. We're pushing down pit road, and I'm a nervous wreck. I'm about to throw up, because I know this thing's going to be so fast. Gets to the end of pit road, where the guy, waves you to hit the racetrack, and the kid puts the window net up, and DJ, I'm standing to the left front right there up the end of pit road, and DJ sticks his hand out the window with that white glove on, and takes his finger and goes, calls me over to the car, and he was the next car to go out. He pulled his visor up and looked at me and goes, "Now what do you want me to do now?" I looked at him, I said, "Baby, turn the pigeons loose."
Match the gas.
Turn the pigeons loose. we sat on the pole by like almost 2/10. I mean, it was
awesome.
But it was an awesome race car. Awesome week. I mean, we won the Busch Clash. We sat on the pole for the Daytona 500. I think we finished second in the duels on Thursday, and then we won the Daytona 500. So we won everything there was in 2000.
That's awesome.
So it was mission accomplished.
Yeah. Yep.
So our years in the Ford car and Ford Quality Care, Ford Credit, Ford Motor Company, Edsel Ford. I mean, the support we got from Ford was unbelievable. You know, Robert Yates engines, the guys, Doug. I mean, everybody in it. I mean, we had more horsepower than anybody, and I knew it. And I knew that if we made a race car as fast as the engine is, that there would nobody beat us unless we beat ourselves. So yeah, and then I think it was 2001. After 2000, the end of 2000 is when 2001 UPS came on board, and we had UPS. So our years from 96, 97, 98, and 99, I mean, we finished second, third. Second, we finished. The first year, we finished third in the points in 96. 97, we finished second. 98, we finished third, and then we won the championship in 99. We actually won a race early. We won the championship at Homestead before the Atlanta race, back when they had the points. So we had a 6-point, something else to beat on your chest about is in 1999, our average finish for the whole season was 6.5.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so
That's neat.
Pretty impressive.
I've been on both sides of that window net, and it is way more nerve-wracking to stand on pit road than it is to drive off the pit road. Because you ain't got no control.
You've done everything you've done.
Yeah.
When a car lines up and you're sitting in there and crew chief's like,
Let's go.
let's go. I'm
Get
tired.
it over with. It's a lot easier to drive off.
Yeah.
So take us through, when you talk about horsepower and the Yates engines, you guys are running the Ilmore engine. Everybody's got the same one.
Pretty much.
It's more like a crate racing deal in late models and the sport models or whatever. So you got to go out there and spend a lot of time with the cars because everybody's.
Oh yeah, it's all like I said. I mean, it's Daytona now with everybody having within 5 horsepower, I would say, with all the the good Ilmore engines, the top teams. It's all about the details. I mean, the little things. I mean, just every little lip, a piece of wrap sticking up, flapping. I mean, everything is the underbody, making sure that it's smooth as it can be. It's
all that shows up on the clock.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of these years I should actually pay attention and track it, but we spend so much more time working on the speedway cars than we do everything else.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
It's not even close. It's not a couple hours, it's like weeks.
Get them all nice and smooth and no edges.
And then when he was doing it, you could mess with the body. Well, now it's all flange fit stuff, and so you're even in a smaller box. And so then you're underneath the car and inside the car. And it's hard. It's hard to be fast out.
Yeah, it is.
So back in the day when you rolled through tech, and were you pushing?
I pushed everything. I pushed everything there was to push.
Pushed it really bad.
Yeah.
Which pretty much got to.
And Daytona got caught a lot too. I mean, we broke.
Did they slap your hand pretty hard when
no,
you
they
did
didn't
that?
slap my hand. They just didn't give me a sticker and said, "You got some work to do." It was like. It was like back then in the Yates days with Dale, the '88 car would come through the inspection line, and I already had the guy, the truck driver, and the body man with everything out behind the truck, because I knew when we got rolled out of that room that we were going to have to go park behind our hauler and work on it. And then the 3-car would come through there with Earnhardt and and all them, and there they come in, they go right behind their hauler. And it's like the top 10 cars all would go right behind their haulers.
Even in the ARCA, I have never. What he's talking about is when you pass everything, they put a sticker on your windshield.
Yep.
And so the guys at the pit road opening, you have that sticker, you can go out. If you don't have that sticker, you can't go out. I've never got the sticker the first time through. You don't. If you get the sticker the first time through, you're not doing a very good job.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this all trickles down to us little dirt track guys. I mean, we go to the Super Nationals in Boone every year. They used to spend all day checking cars at the beginning when we rolled through, and that was like nerve-wracking, just like you guys went through, having to change stuff or do whatever. Now they've actually done away with that. They spend a lot more time, like after the race, they'll do it in the infield with the top 4 or whatever, and DQ cars or penalizing, the top 4. So they've actually done away with the pre-taking part.
We still have to do both.
Yeah.
We got to go through everything beforehand, and then if you finish in the top 5, you got to do it again.
Yeah. So, speaking of that, after the race, when you win, how far do they go? Do they tear your motor apart? Do they?
Yeah, I think.
What goes on
I
afterwards?
haven't been that fortunate in ARCA, but I mean, they take you. I mean, they could take you to over to an impound area and put your car on jack stands. They pull the gear out, axles out. I mean, they do a very, very thorough job of inspecting the cars, just like they did back in the day. Because basically all the ARCA officials now are a lot of the guys that were in the NASCAR officials back in the days. Chocolate Myers always said, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, but like Tony Glover was crew chief for Ernie Irvin and Sterling Marlin. I mean, he's one of the main officials in the ARCA series now. So I mean, got a lot of good people. Ron Drager does an amazing job with that group, and like I said, he's got some really good Bobby Thompson. Gray Galding. I mean, there's a lot of good people, and they're fair.
They are.
They're very fair.
They are.
Good.
They're good people. I've only got called in to the principal's office once.
Really?
And I earned my trip, but when I sat down, I'm like, okay, I explained my deal. They listened to me, and then they
told you.
Then I listened.
Then they told you about how your deal's going to be.
Yeah. So they're good guys.
Yeah.
That's cool. So let's talk a little bit about up to qualifying or practice. You guys go out, crash your car. Did you guys bring a complete car? I mean, was it pretty much race ready?
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh,
was
yeah.
it race ready?
Yeah.
You could just jump in it?
Yeah, I had 3 Daytona. When I go to Daytona, I had 3 Speedway cars that had been wind tunneled, and everything that was done on the primary car.
Identical.
I mean, it was as close as we possibly. The primary always got the most love, but then it was the Busch Clash car. Was really fast, and what we would do is, after the Busch Clash back then, we'd wipe the confetti off of it and the all the beer and all the Gatorade and all that stuff. We'd wipe it down and we'd push it up into the hauler up front, and that would be our backup car for Speed Weeks.
Gotcha.
But if you go to Daytona and you qualify for the 500 and you run the duels on Thursday, or say you wreck in the Bud Shootout or the Busch Clash, whatever you want to call that thing. The Clash at Daytona. not the Classic Bowman Grave, it's Classic Daytona. That car has to go back home, and I mean, literally Rockingham was the next week, but you'd have to send your Busch Clash car home, and the guys back at the shop would start working on it and getting it ready because you still had duels to run, okay, and then you had practice on. The duels were on Thursday, so you practiced all day Friday, all day Saturday. And if you wrecked your 500 car, then in the duels, then we'd have had to use our Busch Clash car, which then if we would have wrecked before the 500, our only other car is the one that was back at the shop. So we always had three Ford Quality Care, Ford credit cars ready at the racetrack.
Wow.
For Daytona.
We used to practice a lot, and now we don't.
Now you don't.
You get 45 minutes. We get 45 minutes. That's
and
it.
the Cup cars don't even get practice.
Right.
They just unload and qualify.
And go. Yeah.
But ARCA will always have some type of practice because there's always people in ARCA that they never been there before.
A lot of new people.
Yeah, they need some seat time before you.
And qualifying's so different because it's usually, they run in groups. If there's 47 cars, I mean, there's going to be 5 to 6 cars in group 1, group 2, group 3. You know what I'm saying? On down, and when you go out, you're actually you don't run by yourself. In ARCA, for qualifying for the ARCA race, you have to be in a draft, and that's like Big Willie last year. Talking to him, I mean, he was the 4th car in line, and he just coming to the final lap, he just lagged back and just got a big run, and he sat on the pole. So my goal with Ryan when we get down there is to make sure that he drafts with some good cars, smart cars. Don't get nobody else, but don't try to lead the draft. I want us to work on our car to make sure that it drafts good and will suck up, because that's what it's going to take for us to make the race.
Yeah. Just pray we get into a good group.
Yeah. Because you're not taking any spare cars.
We don't have any spare cars. I mean, I have other cars, but they ain't going to be worth a dang at Daytona.
Yeah,
the bodies aren't hung right. Nothing's right on them. So we got 2 cars, and we got a driver in each one. So if they wreck, good luck.
And they've had a lot of wrecks in qualifying.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen where 2 Venturini cars were totally destroyed. In the same group. Just in qualifying.
So we don't have it. Even in ARCA, we used to practice. We'd have an hour practice, and you'd have a lunch break, then you'd have another hour practice, then you'd qualify, then you'd have happy hour, which I never went out. There's nothing happy about it in ARCA. And then we would race, but I was down there one year. I watched Ricky Stenhouse, and he was running in ARCA. He wrecked 3 cars before the race started.
Oh, wow.
Nobody in ARCA thought he was going to make it. Nobody did. He wrecked stuff all the time. And so, but we're going down there with 2 cars. That's all we got. So,
you got to be smart.
Be smart,
and then make sure we make the right decisions.
So your drivers that you got, Ryan and Michael, how old the gentlemen are they? Are they new? How many years have been racing?
Michael ran a full season last year in ARCA, and he's ran dirt modifieds and stuff before. I don't really know how long he's been racing, but he ran a full season last year in ARCA. Ryan ran a partial schedule 2 years ago.
23.
And then he ran 10 races last year, and he's got 6 or 7 races in ARCA this year, and then he's running some truck races.
Okay.
But they both ran Daytona last year. They both ran Talladega last year, so they have some drafting
experience. Yeah.
It's easy to go around Daytona by yourself.
You mentioned a really key word, I think, there is drafting. Totally different.
Yeah.
Drafting with cars, I imagine.
Daytona is not hard to drive when you're all by yourself.
Yeah.
it's easy.
It's
But
easy.
when you get into a crowd, it's a little bit different.
Car moves around a lot on here.
Oh, a whole lot.
I know showing on TV, you know, you see the cars darting all over the place. Yeah, no, they're not doing that on purpose.
That area.
When you're about that third, fourth car back in the draft, I mean, you're literally, there's no air on your car. I mean, you know, because the ARCA has a big spoiler on the back of it, and you know, so I mean, the first two cars really just kick the air away from the rest of the cars. So they're fast because they don't have any drag on the car because they don't have no air, but they're
moving.
Yeah.
ARCA cars have a lot of drag to them, and so
do.
guys can get big runs, but they also have big spoilers, and you get 3-4 cars deep, it's hard to see what's going on in front.
Yeah.
You can't see very far. So we'll see. We'll be all right.
So when you get out of line, can you feel the car slow down?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You pull out, you're going to be like.
it's like hitting the brakes.
No, it's like throwing. It's like John Forrest. John Forrest throwing two parachutes out at the end of a quarter mile or eighth mile, however far they go. However far they go now and run what 300 something miles an hour.
Over 300.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
340, 341. I think. What's his name?
Crazy.
The ARCA cars have so much drag with the big spoilers and everything, and the way the front ends are, and the roofs are pretty tall too. They're not sleek like they used to be. You know, big windows and stuff. It is you can.
There's Billy.
It's you if you're within like a second and a half, you can run in that pack because they punch such a big hole. You can make up that amount of time.
Nice. So, Bill made his trip home from
I'm here.
Missouri.
My
Yeah.
apologies,
This-
sir.
That's okay.
Bill Grit?
I've heard a lot of good things about you
Nice to meet you.
while you weren't here.
I've watched you for years, by the
Okay,
way.
thank you so much. Appreciate
My
it.
apologies, Jeremy.
You're good.
It's
Good
just-
to see you.
yeah.
Yep. No, but we've been. Have you been listening?
I have
Kinda what we've
not.
been. Okay. We've just been just talking,
Racing away.
telling
ya?
stories, and so just chime in.
Did you get in? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What have you gone over? Have you got into how they met?
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
what have we been over?
Okay.
We've been over
Everything.
Everything?
Yeah, we've been through.
So-
We've been through my career and
70s
growing
to
up
90s.
from yes,
Yeah.
yeah. 1971 till 2025.
The
I'm young at heart though.
the new
Well, of
cars.
course. Aren't we all?
Are you keeping up with the new cars at all? The Cup cars.
The new Gen
The-
7 car.
the new Cup cars.
Yeah, I
Are
mean,
you?
they're amazing. I mean,
Oh, really?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I couldn't. If somebody called me and wanted me to hire me to come work on the shop and work on the car, I would tell them no, because I mean I've seen how technical they are, and it's just my timeline has moved past that car.
Yep.
And I see the kids. I mean the guys in the garage now, and you know with the top teams in racing. I mean they don't have the guys that were in the garage working on Cup cars 5-6 years ago. I mean, they got full-blown kids out of college. I mean, engineers from North Carolina State. I mean, everywhere, mechanical engineering as mechanics.
Like you were telling me the other day, back in the day when you were going, you had one guy on each corner of the car building the body
When
panels.
we hung the body, yeah.
I mean, that don't happen anymore.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
You got a group. Normally, they still have, like I had a guy that did from the A post forward, did the sides and did the roof, and then I had a guy that did from the bottom of the C post to the back. Well, now they've got, there's probably 3 or 4 guys, but I mean, every body part you put on these Gen 7 cars, it's like it's a carbon body piece. You know, it's bolt-on, flange fit, but the tolerances are so small that there's like on the body plate where they put the bodies on these cars. I mean, these teams have 2 full-blown roamer arms with monitors mounted on the wall that they go and touch every single point to make sure that it's right.
Wow.
We used to do it with a tape measure and a level.
Piece of string.
Yeah. We'd have to have a guy with a, what is it, probably, I think we had a little short 2-foot levels and we had a 4-foot level, but he would stand on the corners of the deck hinge and we'd, and that's how we had our build sheets.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But we've talked about a lot.
How things have changed so much. Got anything going, Bill?
I still got jet lag from getting here.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I couldn't even find my shirt. Sorry, guys. I wanted to get here, though.
That's
My
okay.
apologies.
No worries.
Glad you did.
But yeah, it changes a lot. We're even the ARCA stuff, the suspension is different. We're on our 2nd year of bumps, I think, or 3rd year of bumps.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was all new to me. I hadn't had bumps before. I did coil binding for years and years and years. So it changes.
Yeah.
It keeps changing. You got to keep up with it.
Even on your late model stuff.
Yeah. So I just
That's-
hold the steering wheel in the late model. I don't work on the car. I got Casey Budd works on my car. He is way smarter than I am. He keeps up with the dirt stuff, and honestly, I don't feel like I could do both well. The late model stuff, dirt wise, is so different than what I'm setting up the ARCA cars. If you got questions on the ARCA stuff, I can answer your questions on pavement. But I know the basics. But I get out of the car and I tell Casey, this is what the car is doing, this is what I need it to do, and this is what I think the track's going to do. And then he does whatever he does.
That's what.
I could not tell you one single spring rate on that late model. I don't know. I just get in and drive it. I can tell you about the asphalt stuff, but Casey keeps up on all that stuff. He knows when things are changing. If such and such came out with a new shock and all. I know it for my ARCA stuff, but I don't know it for that. I drive the late model and I work on the ARCA cars. It's different. It's way, way different.
Todd, do you follow any dirt stuff at all?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well, actually, I was fortunate enough in 2021. Ray Abraham called me up when he started the SRX program, the Superstar Racing Experience, and I actually was one of the crew chiefs. It was me, Jeff Hammond, and Mike Beam started out, and then Mike got more involved with his truck team at GMS, and he kind of went back and kind of backed out of the SRX, and Tony Uri Jr. came over, which all the SRX cars are Fury chassis, so Tony Uri Jr. they're the ones that built the SRX cars, and we ran Eldora, Knoxville. I mean, we did with the dirts there. So, I mean, yeah, I actually got. I mean, Scott Bloomquist. Me and him were telling a story yesterday about Scott and stuff. But Scott actually drove one of the cars that I got the crew chief on in the SRX series. So, I mean, it was like.
What was he like to work with for you?
Awesome.
Really?
Oh yeah. Fun, laid back.
Really?
Yeah, but he knew what he wanted in the car, and he could tell you.
And maybe Bobby's asked you this question earlier. What did you expect out of your drivers? As far as feedback goes?
In what? In Cup?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I've said 100 times, I've been blessed.
Okay.
Okay. I worked with, my first job out of high school, I worked for Richard Petty in 1984, and he won a few championships. And knew what he wants in a race car.
Okay.
And then, like I said, in 85, I was with Tim Richmond. 86, from 86 to 1995, I worked with Rusty Wallace.
Okay.
And he came from the ASA. I mean, basically, asphalt late models. Martin and them guys, so he knew what he wanted in a car, and then got with Dale, and so I've been fortunate. Matt Kenseth I worked with, Bobby Labonte I crew chief for, Ryan Newman I crew chief for. I mean, that's some of the
and they were able to tell you what they wanted in the car.
Yes, yeah, because they're all if you look,
They're all
they're all Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
So like I said, I've been blessed
Okay.
to work with the people I've worked with.
Pretty awesome. So, how many more years do you think you're going to do this?
I'm a racer. It's me and Jeremy were talking. It's like this year is my 41st year in NASCAR. 41 years.
Wow.
Yeah, right out of
Amazing. That's amazing.
And I still enjoy it. I still like becoming. I like the ARCA series. I'm gonna do a little dabbling with some late model stuff this year with a friend of mine. But I love competition. I enjoy what I like about the ARCA series is like we're working with Andy Hillenberg at Fast Track the last 2 years. So he has like 4 mechanics in the shop that gets the cars ready, for all the things. And they have these kids that go to the University of Northern Ohio through the mechanical engineering school and classes where they come on the weekends and pit the cars, and then they're my mechanic, my car chief, and stuff like that. So my dad's the one that taught me, what I was doing, the right way to do it, so I bleed over and do the same thing with these kids from the UNOH. I don't really work on the car that much, but I know what I need. I know what needs to be done to it.
Sure.
So I'll let them put their hands, get the wrenches, do the stuff. I'll watch over them, but I let them work on the car, because if they don't do it, they aren't going to learn.
You had some kids from UNOH, didn't
Yeah,
you?
for years. That's
Yeah.
who's-
Yeah.
and I've had.
Is that a pretty cool deal?
Yeah, it's a neat deal.
Yeah.
It's
gotten
really,
a lot stronger.
It really helps out financially with the teams because we don't have to bring all our people. Those kids all come from the school, and I would say
50.
Yeah,
There's probably close to 50
50 or
kids.
60, and they're all on different teams.
And they help pit.
They pit the
They
car-
pit the
They
cars.
pit the cars when you're
Both for the 99 and the 67 this year, everybody that's going over the wall is in a no kit. All of them for both cars. And I've had a string of them that have graduated from there and then come here to Kansas, and they may have been in my shop for, I think I had PJ for like 4 months and he got a job, and I had one for a year and he got a job, and 2 years and he got a job, and now I got him coming back again. So it's a good deal.
Yeah.
So for somebody wanting to get started,
A young kid
Yep.
growing up, if you can't get into the NASCAR Technical Institute, down in Mooresville, something like that. I mean, the program they have up at the University of Northern Ohio, I know because I talked to 2 of the kids that have helped me for the last 2 years all the time, constantly on Facebook Messenger or whatever, texting, it don't matter. And I always stay in contact with what they got going on, what they're doing. So Jeremy talked about the kids going and graduating. I had a kid that helped do tires in 2023, was a tire guy, and I grew up. That's what I was. I was a tire engineer. I was a tire engineer from 1984 when I worked for my dad in the King till 1991 is when I started setting up cars for Rusty, and then we had a kid come in and do tires. But the kid that was helping me in 2023 got a job at ThorSport on the 88 car, Matt Crafton. And I mean there's 2 other kids that were in fast track racing that are also. One of the kids is a truck driver. He works at ThorSport, and then I can't remember the other kid's name, but it's been, they're branching off and they're getting those guys, the managers and stuff like that will talk to me, and it's like they cherry pick. Well, I mean, they want. I mean, they want the ones that are ready.
Yep.
You know, and I mean, like I said, been very fortunate to have some of those kids that were ready, and they're doing great. They love it, you know, and that's their dream. Just like, you know, after high school, this was my dream. I didn't want my dream. I didn't have a choice.
Why is that?
It was in my blood. I mean, I didn't. Yeah, I could have played golf. We talked about. I played golf in high school.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't start until my sophomore, junior, and senior year, and I finished second in the SPC South Piedmont Conference of all the schools where I grew up, went to school. I finished second in the conference my junior year, and then I won the conference title in my senior year, and turned down 3 partial golf scholarships to go to college to play on a golf team.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'd shoot 4 under.
So do you still
in high school?
You still get to play?
No,
You don't?
this old.
You was telling me about
this
your knees.
this old body. I carried tires for 11 years, jumping off walls, but carrying 2 of them, and yeah, no.
You wouldn't change anything though, would you?
Oh no, I'm gonna get my knees replaced sometime in the next year, you know, so I can actually walk and don't look like Frankenstein.
Did you ever have any close calls in all the pit cars?
Oh my God, yes.
Did you ever get hit by any?
Oh yeah,
Really?
I got spun around.
Oh Jesus!
You see the bullfighters when they go out there with the thing?
Oh God!
Well, I was an athlete. All right, I was a bullfighter. I knew that if I ran out there far enough, if Rusty came in the pits and I jumped over the wall, and back then they didn't have the rules like going over the wall or anything like that. Didn't have pit road speed. You know, I knew if I went over the wall, never forget Loud, New Hampshire. The 2 car and the 28 car were racing for the win. Rusty was leading the race. In New Hampshire. Davey or Ernie was running second, and they were pitting literally in the pit stall, right? 2 stalls, so there was one opening and then the 28 pit. And my dad looked at me before we went over the wall. He said, "Do your thing." And so when I jumped off the wall, I ran like almost a car length outside the pit box with my tires. So he had to swerve to the right and then turn back to the left to get it. Swerved to the right and missed me.
Oh my God!
You know, so I did my job and slowed them down, and we beat them out of the pits and won the race.
Wow!
And I have been spun around. Yeah.
That's
Now,
awesome.
I read Jeff Hammond's book, Real Men Work in the Pits.
Yeah.
Are you going to write a book at any time?
I'm going to write a book sometime before I'm done. I've talked about it with people and my stories, and you know, through the good things I've done, the great things I've done, and you know, even the bad stuff. You know, I mean,
memories.
You know. Unfortunately, everybody has that. What they call it, a ghost in the closet. Well,
Sure.
Yeah, I had one of them one time. So, you know, I'm going to write a book, and it's going to be a tell-all, and it's
Oh no!
it's going to be good.
It's going to be good.
You know, I've talked to people, Lee Spencer, Ben White, you know, in NASCAR that does media stuff, and you know, and they're like, if you don't write a book, you're crazy. You know, I just told them some of the things I could talk about. So at some point, before I'm done, I am going to write a book.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll buy one.
I'll buy it.
Yeah, well, thank you.
We got a question from one of the guests on here about the chase format. Are you for the chase format, or do you like just straight up points from way it
The
was
chase
before?
format it is now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in between. I know they made some adjustments to it this year. I haven't really read what they are. I haven't paid that much attention. We've focused on this deal in ARCA, you know, but I mean, the racing's good. I mean, to me, like I said, when we won the championship in 1999, we had a big enough lead that we won the championship at Homestead before the last race at Atlanta, so we were done. You know, I mean, it does bring it closer together. It does make it more interesting. I mean, you know, you look at Ryan Blaney. Again, last year he had to win the race at Martinsville to make the Final Four, and he did that. You know, I mean, it's just
definitely puts a lot more pressure on the guys.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like the last 3 or 4 years, the championship race has been at Phoenix. The top 4 cars at Phoenix are always the top 4 cars that are racing for the championship. So I mean, it's always it's crazy how it works out that the best of the best are there.
Are always up there.
You know, so I mean, I don't know, mixed emotions, but I think the racing last year, the second half of the season got really, really good, and I mean, I watched the clash with Bowman Gray the other night. I mean, yeah, it was a little WWE. It was a little WWE to start out in the last chance race, but it calmed down, and I mean, yeah, there were some people who got their feelings hurt in the main event, but the racing, I mean, they were able to run side by side at Bowman Gray.
It was,
and at LA Coliseum, it was a fresh paved racetrack, and they followed the leader, and you had to push the guy, bump him, wreck him to get by. But I mean, they were running 3 wide at Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so the racing was good.
And to have Blaney come from the rear to run second, I mean, there had to be some passing.
There was the tire. The tire they ran at Bowman Gray was the same tire they ran at Martinsville when he ran the leader down at the end of the race at Martinsville and won the race. So he just burned his stuff up too much at Bowman Gray trying to get the 9 car, which, you know, Allen and them guys, they had an amazing car.
That's such a cool place. I mean, anytime they have the NASCAR modifieds on there, I always watch because it's
the madhouse.
It's always cool.
Yes, I mean, that documentary that Ben Kennedy did, and I mean, you know, leading up to it, and, you know, going to Pullman's, the hot dog place where, you know, Bill France Jr., Bill France Sr., Mike Helton, T. Wayne Robertson, and Ralph Seagrave sat in the corner, you know, just listening to those stories. I've been this my whole life. I can picture that. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I mean, and it was so cool, you know. And Ben Kennedy won that Canyon race there in 2013. You know, the guy, the job he has at NASCAR now, he's so young and so smart, you know, because he's a France. But he just has a broad spectrum of where he wants to take NASCAR. I mean, he took him to LA Coliseum, big market. It was amazing. First year there was amazing. Chicago the last 2 years has been some of the best racing you've ever seen. The racing at Bowman Gray, unreal. You know, like I said, it had its hiccups, but it was great.
It has to be kind of scary to stick your neck out and say, hey, you know, let's do this. Is it going to work or not?
The thing about him and the group he has working with him, from a 10,000 foot view from me, because I'm not there, but just being in racing my whole life, he does an amazing job with what he's doing now. And it's only going to get broader too. There'll be more street races somewhere.
You think so?
Oh God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, for sure, the road course stuff. I mean, you agree?
Yep. Yeah.
Got a couple questions, if you don't mind, from some guests. I ran them by Jeremy, so he's kind of looked at them.
I said it was okay to ask him.
Not you.
Don't ask me. I still got to work in the Arctic garage.
Okay. So one of our guests, Justin Montgomery, has a question for you.
For who?
You?
Okay.
Because he said to ask you.
Okay.
Because he still has to work in the garage.
Well, I do too.
He does too, but he doesn't work on that side of the fence anymore. So.
Sure. And if you don't want to answer, you don't have
I
to.
know. You asked me, and if I'm...
What's the craziest or best thing you ever snuck by the inspectors?
Oh.
We've heard the ball
that you
bearing
got it.
stories and stuff like that with trap doors that would let them fall out. I mean, something? Can't say it. It's okay.
It's
okay.
I have done some bad things.
Did it work?
I'll tell you this much. I'm going to be straight up dead honest with you. The 2000 Daytona 500 that we won, we wrecked in happy hour.
Okay.
Him and Dale and Jeff Gordon got in a wreck, turn 1 and 2.
Okay.
Tore the whole left front fender off our car, tore the back bumper off of it, the whole right corner of the back bumper, the whole left front fender was gone, and the right side was gone. Still on 4 tires. DJ said, "Where do you mean take it behind the truck?" I said, "No, bring it in the garage." Brought it in the garage. First thing we did is we put it up on scales, make sure all our scale numbers are right. We put it on front end plates. We made sure that none of the tie rods, all the toe, the wheels are all still pointing in the same direction. And Robert's standing there. He's mad because I wasn't even supposed to go back out for that last run.
Sure.
We changed the sway bar for 1/8 of an inch to go out and run one more time.
Oh boy.
To make the car a little bit better, to drive better, and we got in that wreck. And he's standing there and just beating on his hips, and he grabs me by the shirt and he pulls me over. He said, "What are you going to do now?" I said, "Well, the wheels are all pointing in the right direction, and the weights are all good." He said, "You're going to get the backup bar off, right? Because you just won the Busch Clash with it." I said, "Nope. We're going to fix this one." He looked at me, he said, "You're going to do what?" I called Charlotte, North Carolina, my fabricators. They had already gone home because, we were done with the duels and they felt like everything was fine. That car, I told him about the wind tunnel time, that car had full body templates, besides NASCAR templates, every 6 inches from the very tip of the nose all the way to the back bumper. Every body shape, everything from the roof to A, B, C. I mean, literally, just like the claw, the drop down template,
Right.
we had those handmade. And I called back to the shop and told them what we needed and what had happened. The kid that does all the front ends, does all the front fenders, and he had stuff, cut out, not built. Robert sent the King Air back home to Concord. All the guys met him at the airport. They flew down to Daytona. They came, they stayed in the motor, I had a motorhome. 3 of them stayed in the motorhome with me in the infield. NASCAR let us in the garage at 4:30. There was only one official because the garage didn't open up till like 6 a.m. And we went in there and
Went to work.
we waved the magic wand over it. And Robert finally got up and he came in and he looked at that thing. He goes,
That's awesome.
"You wasn't lying, were you?" I said, "No, sir." So back then, after you passed tech, they didn't run you back to inspection to check templates.
Okay.
So it wasn't quite the same.
It was not even close to the same. The front end was 2 inches narrower. The right side bumper where it busted it, we split it and put a piece in there and we kicked it out. So the right rear corner of the bumper had a big old whale tail on it, made more side force. The whole car just made more downforce, and it was faster.
But it worked.
That's awesome.
Yes, it worked. I knew it was going to work. That's why I didn't get the backup car out, because there was too much other stuff done to that car that I knew we could fix this and make it
work.
We can make it better than what it was before it ever sat on the pole. So yes, I have done a little
Hocus Pocus?
Hocus Pocus. But as Chocolate Myers says, that was back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
so how about this one? Out of all the tracks you've been to, which track's your favorite?
Daytona.
I was gonna say.
Always?
I mean,
It's just wide open.
my first memory of Daytona was the picture that I showed Jeremy and showed Bob. I have a picture of me, 6 years old, in Victory Lane with Bobby Isaac.
Okay.
My dad worked for Harry Hyde, K&K Insurance 71 car. I have a picture of me standing behind Bobby Isaac holding the trophy, drinking a Pepsi, and my little brother's beside of me and my mother.
Really?
Yes, so Daytona, all the years going there, growing up, going down there for July was always a family vacation, you got to spend time. And I'm going to tell you one more, and this is on God's honest truth. And my significant other, which me and her are best friends now, she's the mother of our daughter. She knows that whenever something happens to me, the day that I take my last breath, I'm going to be cremated. That is what I want. And half of my ashes are going to be spread in Lake Lloyd.
Okay.
And the other half for the kids, or we got 2 boys and a daughter. But my ashes are going in Lake Lloyd.
Going to Daytona.
Nothing wrong with that either.
That's how much that place means to me.
Okay.
So Jeremy, tell us, what was it like the first time you rolled into Daytona? What did you think? This place is big.
It's big. It's
Yep.
neat. It's I don't know. We do it all the time, so you kind of forget about it, and then somebody goes with you that hasn't been there before, and they're like, "Oh my God!" And then you're like, "Yeah, this is pretty neat, actually." You just get used to doing it. But it's the first time I drove on it, and drove at Talladega. I don't remember, somebody else talk about it. But you're going down the back straightaway, and it doesn't look like a nice gradual corner. It looks like you're driving into a wall. And it's a dead left.
Really?
And you're just like, they told me not to lift.
Is this going to work? Told you not to lift.
Told me not to lift, so I'm not going to lift. And then once you do it once, you're fine. But it does not look like a sweeping corner.
Yeah, and it's not as wide as it looks on TV.
Oh.
It looks like you're riding down a 2-lane road.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Because you're going so fast.
Wow.
Yeah, it's neat. But yeah, it is. Just the banking is pretty wild.
I still get cold. I ain't gonna lie. I guess still get cold chills when I drive through the tunnel at Daytona. First thing I do when I get there, I turn my phone on, driving in the tunnel, and turn 3 and 4. You got the 2 round tunnels. Turns 1 and 2 is where they take most of you in now. It's down through turn 1, but like after we get there, later on in the week, you have to go in through the turn 3 and 4. But my first picture when I get to Daytona is I stop right there where it says Rolex and Daytona. Every single year I take a picture of it. It's just like that place is hologram to me. It's special. It's always been special. Like I said, when I worked for Richard Petty in 1984, my dad was crew chief. The King won this 200th race, 4th of July there. I was a tire carrier and a mechanic on the car, so just so much history.
Did you do any road race stuff when you were crew chief and real heavy? Did you run any road races?
Yeah, we ran Watkins Glen, Sonoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Big change.
We sat on the pole with Dale Jarrett at Watkins Glen, and we were fast in practice. And I told Robert we're going to sit on the pole. He said, "That guy ain't going to sit on the pole at a road course." He said, "Who are you fooling?" Sure enough, we sat on the pole. We were leading the race by Gordon was running second. We were going in turn one. Gordon was not quite to the start-finish line, and DJ just got so excited toward the end of the race. That's when they had the sand trap at the end of turn one. Dale drove in there too deep and wheel hopped and spun off into the sand trap and got stuck, or we would have won the race. But I mean, so I love road racing because, obviously I worked with Rusty. We won Sonoma, won the Bud at the Glen. I mean, I've got so many pictures and memories of road racing. I love it. It's fun. I love all racing. Short track racing, I love. The Brickyard, obviously, it's hollow ground to me too. I've won there twice, with Dale, 96 and then again in 99. So, just I got a lot. There's a lot of places that are fun that I enjoy.
Pretty awesome.
Racing is my life.
Yeah.
Bill, you got anything?
I'm done.
Okay. Well, this has been totally awesome for us to have you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
I've enjoyed it. I've had a great time.
Welcome to Kansas, by the way.
Yeah. Jeremy, when we talked about coming out here, Jeremy said, "Hey, I got these friends of mine. They got a radio show, and they want you to come on and do it. Do you mind?" And he said, "If you don't want to do it, you don't have to." I said, "No, I'll do it."
Thanks for your time. Really.
Yeah, I mean,
Jeremy actually called me, and I was at the Chili Bowl in Tulsa at the Midgets. Said that you were coming out. I said,
this has been fun. I enjoy telling stories, because like the people that whoever's watching, I don't know, but it's like the story about me doing what I did to the Daytona car. I don't know that I've ever said that out loud. But there's, nothing to hide. I mean, what I did is what I did. It worked.
I mean, anybody else would have done it too.
We do have two
if you're not working in the gray area, then you're not working.
We're gonna try to get him to. We're gonna drag him out to some late model races this year.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Get him to go to some
All right.
Oh yeah.
That'll be good.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna run. I got Land Pride again this year. We're gonna go
The
to.
dirt.
Yep. We're gonna run. I think it's Big O Speedway. It's in Ennis, Texas, or Enos, Texas. I don't know how to say it. But we're going down there February 22nd will be the first race for us.
Cool.
So we're going to go down there. We'll get back from Daytona, grab the dirt car, go to Texas.
Nice.
And we got 3 or 4 weeks before we go to Phoenix.
Somebody asked that question. I got two more for you, if you don't mind. I don't want to take up all your time tonight.
Yeah.
Did you get paid a salary, or if you won, did you get a bonus?
I got a salary, and I got a bonus.
So you did both.
Very good. I'll tell you another little.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you another little Robert Yates racing story. Robert, I didn't make a whole lot of money when I first went to work there, but the more we won, the more sponsorship money Ford gave, because they saw it was beating the GM Goodwrench car, which was the goal of putting that car on the racetrack, because they wanted to get rid of that black number 3. Okay, and we were the ones that did that. So my salary got increased, and then in 1999 we won the championship, and at the end of the year, Post UPS was coming on board, that was 2001. But in '99 we won the championship, and Rick Hendrick had reached out to me and Dale about coming to drive one of his cars and meet crew chief.
Okay.
Rick, not himself, but he sent word that there was an offer. Well, they got back to Robert and Ford. He talked to us, and we don't want to do it. And basically, Robert went to Ford and said, "Hey, if you want these two right here, it's time to get off the pie."
Yep.
So in 2000, I was the first crew chief in NASCAR, which I was the first one. I'm sure Chad was followed right along Canals, but I was the first crew chief in NASCAR to make 7 figures.
Wow.
It's impressive.
That's awesome.
I got
That
paid
is awesome.
$1 million a year for about 3 or 4 years.
That's impressive.
Now he's working for me.
Now I'm down here in Salone, Kansas, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Smolin, Kansas.
My mom made spaghetti for him this afternoon.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what he's getting paid now.
Yeah.
So
How was it?
After dinner last night, and the sleep I slept 11 hours last night. Quiet, bed was comfortable, everything was great. I got up this morning and actually had some leftover, egg noodle and cream sauce and broccoli. Didn't tell you this, I had a bowl of that this morning for breakfast, and then went over to shop and work, came back over at lunchtime, and she had a big old pot of spaghetti, and I told her they all left, and I was the last one to leave, and I'm a slow eater. And I'm old, I'm slow at everything now almost. But I told her when I got up, I said, I don't know if I want to go back to Mooresville. She said, I think it'd probably be a good idea for you to go back for a little while. But I mean, the hospitality, his mom, everything has been
That's awesome.
unbelievable.
I just keep putting more and more people in her house.
Yeah.
She hasn't stopped me yet, but at some point I got to find another place for people to go other than my mom's.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
she's nice. So yeah, what was the other
You
question?
got 2 more, and then we're going to call it good, okay?
Yep.
Do you think they should have more dirt races like they did at Bristol, and what are your thoughts on those?
No, absolutely not.
You don't think the Cup car belongs on dirt, do you?
No.
It's not built for it.
It's not built for
The
it.
Gen 7 car is not built for dirt. No, absolutely not. It's like the LA Coliseum. The first time there was amazing, great. The first time at Bristol, dirt, it was great. But then it lost its luster.
Yeah, I would agree.
So this car is not
Stays on
built-
asphalt.
It stays on asphalt. Yeah.
Last one, and then we're going to call it a night. And I really appreciate you sticking around. And
You're very
sorry
welcome.
again I was late.
No problem.
This is from Joe Petty. And this is just a statement. My first time at Daytona was 1976 when David Pearson and Richard Petty crashed at the finish line. I was in the pit on pit road when that happened. Certainly a big highlight of my life. That's from his dad. They've been involved a while too.
Yeah.
I've never been to Daytona. I want to go. It's on my bucket
Have you ever been to Jeremy's parents' house?
Absolutely. I've ate dinner there. I know.
You've been down to the museum?
Yeah.
My dad's stuff
The
everywhere.
basement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't call it. It's not a basement. After I went down there last night, it's a museum.
Absolutely.
I mean, the pictures, just the memorabilia, the pictures. I spent 45 minutes last night. Just started at one corner of the room and just looked at everything. 'Cause I love the history of NASCAR racing. The midgets, like his dad catching on fire. Just that era. I'm a racer.
Yep. Before we leave, you got some people to thank for, getting you where you're at.
Yeah, I got lots of people that got me where I'm at. My dad and my mom. My mom's hotel, basically.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I learned a lot of stuff from. Ricky Sanders. I went truck racing with him, and Ron Cox, and I was fortunate enough to drive for Wayne Hickson. I drove in the ARCA series for quite a few years, and Andy's been really good to me and gave me a crew chiefing job, and that's where I met Todd. And it just, racing's a big community.
Family.
It works really well. So, and I've been lucky enough to get some sponsorship with my late model so I could race it. We went to like 8 or 9 states last year with the late model and won 3 races. And so I got Land Pride back, and Centerline Rotation Services is back with me, and so we're gonna run. I probably won't run as many races this year. It's really hard to schedule late model races in areas that Land Pride wants me to be and not be on top of 20 ARCA races. So we might not run as much, but we're going to try to go to as many as we can. And
You're going to have to come right down the road, 25th and 6th.
I am in Talladega.
Oh, shoot.
So when they're 3 miles, they're racing 3
Doggone it.
miles from the shop, and I'm 6 states away
You're gonna be
racing
in
Talladega, so I won't be there.
Shoot. Okay.
Yeah, these series around here, they forget to check with me before they schedule stuff. So
They forget to check with you?
Yeah. I don't know that I'll run, but maybe a couple races in Kansas because it's just the way the schedule works out.
Yeah.
I'll try to get to Hutch. I always try to go to Hutch.
Yeah.
But I think 2 of their races I'm in, like one of them I think I'm in Lime Rock, Connecticut, and another one I'm somewhere else. So it's hard to get to races this year because I got this 2-car deal going on. But we're going to go to as many as we can, and hopefully we have a good year and we make Daytona and finish in one piece and have a few days off, and we'll go late models.
There you go.
There you go. Good luck. I hope you get that done.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we do.
Yep. Well, let's kind of wrap this up by, we'll do the short version.
Do the short version.
Okay. Big thanks to District E Play, Salina Speedway, Concordia Raceway, Belleville Midget Museum, Kansas Auto Racing Museum, Kimball Midwest, Hill Job Graphics.
Yes, you got it.
That out. Mean Dean Productions. Mean Dean does a great job for us and everybody he works for. And BSP Manufacturing. So big special thanks to all them people for making this go.
I've had a blast. It's been fun.
Yep.
It
Thank
really
you
has.
so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
Todd.
us.
What's been fun is I just told the truth.
That's it.
You know what I mean? There's nothing. I have nothing to hide. I've done, like I said,
You
I've
were
won
awesome.
32 NASCAR Cup Series national events. I won a championship and had the success I've had with the drivers I've had. Like I said, I've been a very blessed human being to be in NASCAR as long as I have, to have the success I've had, and to work with the talent of owners, drivers, mechanics. And now, sharing my passion of what I did growing up with the kids at UNOH and, helping Jeremy. I love giving back.
Sure.
Because that's how I was raised.
Yep.
And, it's a challenge. It's a lot of work. Like Jeremy says, you got a lot going on. I get fueled by put my back up against the wall.
Yep.
And make something out of it.
Yep.
So,
It's fun. It's neat to work. We were in the shop today, and I was working on something, and I thought I had it about right, and then he was like, "Yeah, that's good. You should do this over here too." And I was like, "Oh man, I didn't think about that. Yeah, I'll do that too. That's even better." So it's but we got
you put
2 minds.
two smart guys together. It's all they've done is raced all their life.
Yep.
Something good's gonna come out of it.
We'll have Michael Maples Motorsports. That's the team.
Yep.
We're running. Michael will be in the 99 for all 20 races, and then Ryan's going to be in the 67 with Todd for 7 races, I think. And then we've already got probably 2 or 3 more races for that car, and he's going to crew chief anytime I can get him to go. When the 67 goes, Todd will be with us. So
And this
try
all
to do the whole
happens
year.
a week from Saturday.
It's the 15th, yeah. It's
on
12 Daytona time, so 11 o'clock here, and it's on Fox, the main
Oh,
Fox.
it's on Fox.
It's on
Okay.
Fox.
It's on live
Cool.
national TV. That's
Oh, good.
Okay.
the ARCA race is.
Okay.
Good. Good luck, guys. Really.
Thank you.
Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
thanks, Bobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thank you
having us.
guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. I had
I know.
fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know
I'm in trouble.
when we
Thanks, Bob.
talked, I told
Nice to
you.
meet you.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
told you this is going to be kind of a laid-back deal.
Oh, that's
and,
okay.
I hope
It was
you had
good.
fun.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed
It's
it.
pretty laid back.
So-
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Yep. It
For
sounds
Bobby
like
Pods, Todd Parrott, Jeremy Petty, Bill Gregg, Dean Clenda. So long. Thanks so much for
we
tuning
got
in.
real quick. We got I don't know those of you that know about the Derby show part of Racetalk Live. We got a show scheduled on the 25th. Is that right? So we'll be at the VFW on the 25th.
Yep.
So
And be
ready
prepared.
for that one.
It's another good one.
yep. So
Let's go racing, boys.
Let's
Yep.
go racing.
See
Thanks
y'all.
for tuning in. Good night, everybody.